Welcome back to The Evil Within. This is Chapter 6 of The Evil Within 2.
All right.
We have just made it to the new part of Union.
I'm coming for
We have
you.
no idea what's here, but all of a sudden we can tell this is not like the City Hall. This looks much more like the other part, the Chapter 3 part. And so here we have found the next large open world part of the game. If you remember, it took us 14 episodes to get through the last large open world part. So bear with us. We're going to be here in Chapter 6 for a while. This time I didn't hit the hand. Remember in a few episodes ago when there was one right outside the safe house in the last open world part. One of those, they call those laments. The large acid, gassy amalgamation of multiple people there. But remember, I tried to shoot it in the head and I shot it in the hand and it wound up chasing us around for a while. So, feeling better about the shot that time. But I looked at the ammo when I shot it and I said, I know what I need to do. If those are going to be the baseline creatures here, I'm going to be using the sniper rifle a lot. I need to go make some sniper rounds, some sniper ammo. There was no workbench in here, but there's a mirror in the next room. We're going to take that back to our room. Remember also in the last, well, was that the last episode? Might have been. We had the slide. We found a slide when we watched a slide projector show of Myra and Sebastian talking about the death, or not the death, of Lily in the house fire. Sebastian insisting that it was an accident and Myra just needed to accept that. And Myra arguing that no, she knows that a secret society has kidnapped and faked Lily's death. That becomes a major theme, that conflict between what Myra knew and what Sebastian didn't believe. We know that Myra's, of course, right? I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Go on.
But after that slideshow, we got a new slide, so we're going to have a conversation with Kidman here.
Pick up, Kidman.
I'm here.
The first time I saw Myra, she was wearing that uniform. I think I fell in love with her right then and there. I didn't want to admit it to myself. But after she was injured on duty, I knew I couldn't risk not telling her how I felt. She was such a great wife and mother that I sometimes forget she was a great detective, too. She was right. She knew there was something fishy about Lily's death. I mean, kidnapping. I should have believed her from the start.
There's no way you could have predicted the truth, Sebastian. You know this.
Now, most of that was consistent with the first game. The part that wasn't consistent is again alluding to that same thing from the conversation the shadow conversation we saw down in the Marrow, right, between Myra and Sebastian. The first game didn't take it that far, that he didn't believe her that something was up, but in this game she laid it out for him and said, look, I have the evidence, I have the proof, take a look at it. None of that came until after she was already missing in the first game. In the first game, he got a box later that kind of hinted to those things, but not while she was alive. It wasn't that. They make it into a real contention point here between Myra and Sebastian. And that sort of bugs me. It's not wholly consistent with the first game, but that's okay. I mean, it is what it is, right? So, it wasn't so central to the first game that some of that could have happened that way, and the first game still be what the first game was. So it's not wholly inconsistent with it, but for those of us that dove very deeply into the lore in the first game, it felt a little jarring to find out that she told him as much as she did, and he didn't believe her. That's different than where we thought the two were. Now remember, we've already run into one lament, so I'm thinking there might be big things. Used to find things in parking lots that were large. That's where we found the laments in the previous area, open world area. So now here we are with those big tentacles coming down from the eye in the sky, the lens in the sky. I don't know what you want to call that thing, but Stefano's camera lens that's looking down on the theater. That, my friends, is a spawn. You need to be very careful of that, Ryan. Run. The only problem is they run faster than you do, so... Honestly, you might have been better off fighting in the close quarters of the Railcar. I only say that, I mean, it worked out fine here. It missed with one shot, but 3 out of 4 is not bad. It wound up not being too bad. They can jump to the side quickly when you first aim at them, so you need to be careful of that. But in the railway car, he would have had to come straight down the path towards us, so he couldn't come at an arch. So you might be better just trying to address him straight there in the railway car. You're not going to outrun them. Certainly not if you get out in the open. You're not going to outrun them. So we already have a couple of signals. Notice that they say resonant signals. Those are what you find for residual memories. Unknown resonance.
I'm the only one who can see it.
There is one in there that's a sniper ammo pouch. I think technically at this point we've seen there's 3 signals there. It may only present as kind of 2, but depending on where exactly you're standing. Now, this is a problem with the third-person play, right? If it was first-person play, I would have seen it in the grass. And if you know and you're watching for it, you would have seen it in the grass as well. But it was actually kind of just almost right behind Sebastian's head. Like, Sebastian's head was between it and the camera. So it was really hard to see. I didn't see it until it was already jumping at us, so... But you can see how fast they move and how much they can jump and kind of squirrel sideways, so... Out in the open, they can be a real force to deal with, especially in that grass. If you don't know they're there and you don't know they're coming, it can be a surprise. And in the last open world place, there were a lot more rail cars, but in the rail cars we found some really cool items. We found some mysterious objects. We found pouches. There was a camera prism trap that we set off. Here there were those 2 spawn and a few weapons parts. Makes this very skippable. If you're playing in classic mode, there's nothing really that you have to come over here for. What we're doing is we're following, I've talked about this several times, our basic approach to open world games is to explore the perimeter first. Then you know what the playing field is, right? And then you can kind of figure out where the heavily centered conflicts might come into existence, right? So it lets you know the playing field a little better if you do the perimeters first. And of course, sticking with the exploration and wanting to see all the content, do all the side quests and everything, we specifically went not along the perimeter that led to the theater. So and I can see 2 of those signals that we picked up. The little one out in the parking lot, and one seems to be in that large diner. It's right across the street there, the Juke Diner. Let's explore a little bit more first. I don't have an explanation for what these zombies are doing. This is very strange. This is the only place in the game that you see them doing this. You see them later on, you see them doing... sitting around these bodies, like not these specific bodies, but bodies piled up like that. Almost like sitting around a campfire. But but these are running. I wasn't sure what to make of this. I'm thinking they all have Molotov cocktails. If I can get one to drop, they'll all run. If I get the lead one to drop it, they'll all run right into the fire. You can't take cover against the boxes you can break. I mean, you can hide behind them like this, but you can't do the take cover thing where he sucks up against the side of it that way. Oh. Stopped them all right there. 2 shots. I thought it was just going to be 1 shot, but I shot pretty quick in there, but there were 2 of them. Hit 2 of them. Now, as it turns out, this area isn't quite as large as the area that we spent so much time in. We still do spend, a fair amount of time in this chapter because there's at least some side quest stuff for us to do. Starting off maybe a little bit more methodical than we did in the first area, in the sense that we picked an edge, we went to the corner, went all the way down to the other corner, and we're gonna kind of zigzag back and forth across. It was the plan anyway. Guardian, look out. So far we've seen a lament, 2 spawn, a guardian, and those 3 zombies that we killed. But it seems to be patrolling some. If it were me staying here now, I wouldn't shoot it. I would, go on. I'm thinking maybe I need to be back farther to make sure it doesn't see me as I cross the street, so. Giving it a wide berth. Did you catch that flashing light to the, looks like I did. Yeah, okay. There's an ammo pouch here. You know it's right in the middle of the building. Come on, Brian. Not like that was hidden. Green dot that takes up the whole size of the building. Looks like a nice old-fashioned slice of American history there. Soda shop. Counters and centered around a kitchen. Serving up milkshakes and fountain sodas. There's our residual memory. The last one was kind of benign, but I'm hesitant. This is always the conundrum with open world games. It's like, what's this going to trigger? And do I want it to trigger now or do I want it to trigger later? How much of the world do I want to explore before I start triggering things that might be a problem? Don't know why I didn't go in the bathroom. We eventually do. There's not a whole lot in there at the moment, but try and decide, do I want to do that residual memory or not? Well, there's a guardian down there farther. Which one's scarier, going down that street with the guardian or going in this diner and looking at the residual memory? You can tell I said we were going to zigzag back and forth across the map, so might as well get this taken care of now. All right, let's go do it. No, that sounds like he's talking about the Onryō. Remember, we've seen a couple of these people. The very first time we encountered the Onryō, there was a woman's journal, a diary basically, that was talking about that same sort of thing. And we've seen other residual memories saying that something that only they can see is coming into the area. At one point, we tied it kind of to the feeling of guilt. I mean, that would be the idea of a vengeful Onryō spirit, right? Japanese spirit. In other words, punishing the guilty or coming after somebody that's guilty, even if, though they often mistake just the person that happens to be in the house as the person that was guilty of whatever happened in the house prior. The jukebox is turned on. Sort of. And there it is. The Onryō. Run! The diner front door is open. But look at this, it's led us right back into a hallway inside of Beacon Hospital, right? Now, unfortunately, there's a bit here that I miss with the camera because I don't really understand what's going on at the time. A better understanding came later during another playthrough. I'll try to explain it to you. See the Onryō coming through, floating through the wall. She's going to go into the mirror. And if you actually stand up, don't stand up until she's in the mirror. But once she's in the mirror, if you go and you look, what would be reflected in that mirror is the door that's locked, right? And you can see it there, but I turn the camera away. But That sound that you just heard was her kicking the door open in the mirror, and that kicked this door open. Which is a hint on how you're supposed to solve this puzzle. That what you see in the mirror is the key. And of course, this is the first time that we saw it, so don't have that information or that answer, right? So
That's me.
takes us a little bit longer than it,
Back then.
not necessarily than it should. We get stupid lucky, but so when you're looking in this mirror, I mean, I didn't spend any time looking in that mirror once it crashed through the mirror like that. I didn't spend any time whatsoever. I just ran and randomly picked it. Nope. But if you saw in the mirror, there was a light that was on, and so the goal.
Something
This is
was
an
up with
infinite
that
loop,
mirror.
unless you pick the right
Something
door.
I should be
There's
looking for.
there are 4 doors. When you look in that, okay. So now, the closer to the center of the door it is, of the mirror, the door that has the light on it. Now notice I noticed it now. Okay, and so I'm thinking, it seems like it would be this door, but no, it was. But I decide that it means the door on the other side. I mean, I went to the right door. I should go to that door. I should go to that back door there. But instead I go to the back door here, which is the wrong door. You would think I know how a mirror works, right? I overthought it. That's all I can say. Okay. But when you look in here, now notice it's a different door this time. Now it's the door that I actually went through. It's if you come on, step up there a little closer. Yeah, no, okay. It's not it was this door. Okay, because it was a little farther on the outside of the mirror. So it was this door, not the door that I went through last time. On the side that I went through last time, I guess is what I meant to say. But okay, now the same holds true for this mirror, but the real problem is that you can't get to the you can't go stand in front of the mirror and see where it is. So Brian just randomly picked a door. I just randomly picked a door. I had no particular reason for picking that door. But if you pick the wrong door, you wind up back in that first room again. And you can... The real trick is that second room.
Why is that?
Now I
thing
put a
chasing
circle
me
there
again?
because the result of having dealt with that Onryō was held in that dead man's hand in the chair. And that was you were supposed to get another slide. And this happens to be a slide that Brian and Jackie leave for the next Game Plus playthrough. You can see again, it was kind of the third person play in the sense that Sebastian was primarily between us, between what we needed to see and the camera, right? So Sebastian blocked our view of that. But it did glint, and it does glint if I spent any time going in and out of that kitchen, surely I would see it. But all right, well, so that didn't seem all that hard, and really to me, I didn't come away with a full understanding of the mirrors the first time we were in there. I understood the mirrors in that first, not the very first room, but the first room where there's just the hospital beds and where the Onryō comes out of the mirror, not where it goes in the mirror. I understood the mirror in that room, but I could never see a light in the mirror in the other one because I never went up far enough in the front to see the reflection. And since I didn't do that, I didn't come away with a full understanding of that puzzle. I'm Thinking maybe I need to kill another guardian. It doesn't seem to see me though. Okay. Cutting back across the map just a little bit north of where we cut through the first time. So now this is something that happens to me in the game. This is, I think, the first time it happened to me, but it happens repeatedly. That if you walk up to the residual memory with your communicator open like that, like you're following the signal, or if you turn it on when you're in here. But see, now I was so close to it when I was in the bus and I turned it on. I can't get the communicator to come up. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why it happens. Okay, so now it came up. I walked back in here. And now when I walk back up to it again, I can't get the communicator to come back up. I promise you that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking, okay, I need to step back further away from it. And it's not coming up. The communicator won't come up. So finally I get bored and say, okay, well, maybe it'll reset after I go look at some more stuff. So let's do some exploration. Now look at this guardian, man. It's running around this building, whatever. I don't know what that building is. But the building in front of the diner there. And that's the one that was patrolling down there by the stoplight where the crossroads was. And that's something to note about this level, is that there are guardians. And that does wind up being plural. Oh, here's something interesting. Okay, remember you could walk right up to, you could even touch them when they were at City Hall, but here you cannot. They will do damage to you if you get close. It's not a lot of damage, but it's, if you're trying to run from something and you get knocked down on the ground that way, that could be dangerous. There's another mist statue. It looked so much like part of this fountain there that we just walked right by it. It didn't trigger anything seeing it there. And that guardian seems particularly clueless, like it didn't see us there. All right, let's try the communicator again.
Why not? No. Oh God. No.
At that point, I'm thinking the guardian's already been out. It's the guardian that's running around the other part of the
Body parts reassembling into a monster. Sure. Why not?
other part of the street there.
By anything I see in here anymore. Won't happen again. I'll burn these before they can change. Wait. Did that arm just twitch? Shit. No.
Okay, so this ought to be a lot of fun.
Shit!
I don't deal with this particularly well. Don't run to blind corners there. But the nice thing about that is she's not likely to... I don't know how she got through there, but she did get through there, but I thought that maybe would block her out for a moment. But you can see it didn't. So she either stepped over something or went around the car entirely. Not sure. With no stamina, and she's so fast. Trying to get any little bit of stamina I can to run. The smart thing to do would have been to run to the safe room. I didn't do the smart thing. But I have a plan. Hey, look. I remember kicking this over. Let's go see what we can do here. Oh, she's coming the wrong way. Dang, she's fast. Alright. Okay, burn her. Felt some relief with that. It's very satisfying. It didn't even slow her down though, hardly at all, right? She's right behind us again still. Can't even get around behind a car to duck. But trying to keep the truck between us and her. She looks like maybe she lost this duck. Nope, she didn't. Or if she did, she was about to find us again anyway, so. Okay, diner. Time to go to the diner. She can't follow us in the diner, right? Oh my gosh, run. She's having a grand time. She's giggling at us. Oh, we made it. We're safe. Yay. Nope. That was a lucky decision to run next to her that way. If I'd have gone the other way, she'd have killed me. So. Jumped over the rail. That's going to slow her down, maybe. Still just can't get any stamina though. And you can already hear her banging against this. Alright, time for a final stand. We'll see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this.